Imagine a mindset that conquers adversity, cultivates inner peace, and unlocks your true potential. In this video, we will explore the principles and practices that made Marcus Aurelius a beacon of strength and serenity. Stay with us, because what you're about to learn will change your life completely. Number 1. Value silence. First off, let's talk about why silence is such a big deal. Ever noticed how noisy life can be? There's this constant buzz, people talking, phones ringing, notifications pinging. It's like we're drowning in a sea of sound. And all this noise? It's not just outside. It's inside our heads, too. We get so caught up in the chatter that we forget to just be. Marcus was all about cutting through this chaos. He believed that by embracing silence, we could find a deeper connection to ourselves. It's like hitting the mute button on all the external noise to hear your own thoughts and feelings more clearly. And hey, silence isn't just about shutting up. It's about active listening. Think about it. When was the last time you really listened to someone without thinking about your reply? Being quiet can open up a whole new world of understanding. You start noticing things you'd usually miss, like the tone of someone's voice or the emotions behind their words. Marcus would say that this kind of attentive silence strengthens your relationships and builds empathy. You're not just hearing, you're truly listening. But let's flip the coin. Silence isn't just for understanding others, it's also about understanding yourself. Have you ever tried just sitting in silence? No phone, no music, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. It can be pretty wild at first. Your mind starts racing, bringing up all sorts of stuff you've been too busy to deal with. But stick with it, and you start to sift through the noise. You get to the good stuff, like figuring out what you really want, what makes you tick, and what's been holding you back. Marcus Aurelius knew that in silence, we confront our true selves. It's not always easy, but it's incredibly powerful. You start to notice patterns in your thoughts and feelings. You see your fears and doubts laid bare. And here's the kicker, you start to deal with them. Instead of running from the noise in your head, you face it head on. You find clarity and, ultimately, peace. And you know what else? Silence is a killer stress buster. We're so used to multitasking and juggling a million things at once. But when you take a step back and embrace the quiet, it's like hitting the reset button. Your brain gets a chance to unwind and reboot. You start to feel more grounded and centered. It's like giving your mind a mini vacation. And who doesn't need that every now and then? So, next time you find yourself in a quiet moment, don't rush to fill it with noise. Embrace it. Let it wash over you and see where it takes you. Channel your inner Marcus Aurelius and use silence as a tool for growth and self-discovery. It's not just about being quiet, it's about finding your true voice in the stillness. And who knows? This simple practice might just change your life completely. Silence is more than the absence of sound, it's the presence of everything meaningful. Dive into it, explore it, and let it transform you. Marcus Aurelius knew it, and now you do, too. Give it a try, and watch how this simple principle reshapes your world. Number 2, embrace change. Before we start, let's acknowledge something straight up. Change is inevitable. No matter how much we try to control or predict our lives, change sneaks in and turns everything on its head. Marcus knew this. He got that the universe is in a constant state of flux, always moving, always shifting. And fighting against this natural flow? Well, that's like trying to hold back the tide with a teaspoon. Now, here's the kicker, instead of resisting change, Marcus taught us to roll with it. Imagine surfing a massive wave. You could freak out, fight the current, and wipe out hard. Or, you could ride that wave, feeling its power beneath you, going with its flow. Embracing change is kinda like that. It's about recognizing that change, though sometimes scary or uncomfortable, is also full of potential and opportunities. So, how do you actually embrace change? One way is by shifting your mindset. Instead of seeing change as a threat, start viewing it as a chance to grow. Marcus was big on this. He believed that every change, every twist and turn, has something to teach us. It's not just about surviving change, but thriving in it, finding ways to learn and adapt. When you look at change through this lens, it becomes less daunting and more exciting. It's a chance to reinvent yourself, to discover new strengths, to explore paths you never knew existed. But let's not sugarcoat it. Change can be tough. It can knock you off your feet and leave you feeling lost. Marcus knew that, too. He faced more than his fair share of upheavals and challenges. His secret? Accepting that change is part of life's fabric. Instead of wasting energy resisting it, he focused on what he could control: his reactions, his mindset, his actions. This is a game changer. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and instead direct your energy inward, you find a kind of freedom and power you never knew you had. And there's more. Embracing change also means being flexible, like a tree that bends in the wind rather than snapping. This flexibility doesn't mean you don't stand your ground or have your principles. It means you're adaptable, ready to pivot when life throws you a curveball. It's about being open to new experiences, new ideas, new ways of being. Marcus would say that this openness is key to living a full, rich life. It's about being curious, adventurous, willing to step out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. Lastly, let's talk about the beauty in change. Yeah, you heard me right. There's beauty in it. Change brings freshness, new beginnings, new perspectives. It's like turning the page to a new chapter in a book full of possibilities, adventures, and stories yet to be told. Marcus found a kind of serene beauty in the cycles of life, understanding that change is what keeps life dynamic and vibrant. It's what makes the journey interesting and worthwhile. So, next time change comes knocking, don't slam the door. Open it wide, invite it in. See it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to evolve. Channel your inner Marcus Aurelius and embrace the flow of life. It might be challenging, it might be uncomfortable, but it's also where the magic happens. It's where you discover who you really are and what you're truly capable of. Embrace change, and you might just find it changes you in the best possible ways. Change isn't just something that happens to us, it's something we can engage with, dance with, and ultimately, grow from. So let's embrace it, with all its twists and turns, and see where it takes us. Number 3, focus on the present moment. Alright, let's get into one of the most powerful Stoic principles from Marcus Aurelius, focusing on the present moment. Now, this might sound like some cliché advice, but trust me, it's a game changer. Let's break it down in a way that's more relatable, more conversational, and, hopefully, a bit more fun. So, Marcus Aurelius, the man himself, believed that the present moment is all we truly have. Past? It's done and dusted. Future? It's a mystery, always around the corner but never quite here. The present? That's where the magic happens. It's the only place where we can act, make choices, and live fully. Think about it. We spend so much time either dwelling on what's already happened or stressing about what might happen that we forget to live right here, right now. Imagine you're always stuck in your head, replaying old memories or daydreaming about the future. It's like living in a movie theater, but the film is on a loop, and you're missing out on what's happening outside the theater, your actual life. Marcus was all about snapping out of this mental loop and planting ourselves firmly in the now. But how do you do that? How do you stay present in a world that's constantly pulling you in a million different directions? One way is to become aware of your thoughts and where they're drifting. Catch yourself when you start replaying past events or worrying about the future. Gently bring your mind back to what you're doing right now. It's like training a puppy. It'll wander off, but with patience, you can teach it to stay. Marcus would also remind us that the present moment is where we find peace. When you're truly present, you're not tangled up in regrets or anxieties. You're just here, experiencing life as it unfolds. It's a kind of clarity, a sense of being grounded. It's not about ignoring the past or the future, but recognizing that your power lies in the now. Your actions, your decisions, your experiences, all happen in this very moment. Another trick is to engage fully in whatever you're doing. Whether you're eating, working, talking, or just sitting, be there 100%. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, notice the details. This kind of mindfulness turns ordinary activities into something richer, more vivid. Marcus would argue that when you're fully present, even the simplest tasks can become profound experiences. Now, let's talk about why this principle is such a big deal. By focusing on the present, you free yourself from the chains of what-ifs and should-haves. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change or control. Instead, you invest that energy into what's in front of you. It's empowering. It's liberating. You become more engaged with your life and the people around you. Marcus also understood that life is fleeting. The present moment is precious because it's all we're guaranteed. Every second we spend lost in the past or the future is a second we lose from the present. By focusing on the now, you make the most of your time. You live more fully, more authentically. In essence, embracing the present moment is about finding joy and contentment in the here and now. It's about letting go of the mental clutter and embracing the simplicity and beauty of each moment. Marcus Aurelius nailed it when he emphasized the importance of being present. It's not just philosophical fluff, it's practical wisdom that can transform how you live. So, next time you find your mind wandering, remember Marcus's advice. Bring yourself back to the present. Dive into the moment with your whole being. It might be challenging at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. And who knows? This small shift in focus might just change your life completely. After all, life is happening right now, in this very moment. Embrace it, live it, and cherish it. Number 4, be mindful of your thoughts. So, here's the deal, your mind is a wild, untamed jungle. Thoughts swing in and out like monkeys on vines, and it's easy to get lost in the chaos. Marcus Aurelius knew this all too well. He believed that to lead a meaningful life, we need to tame this mental jungle. It's about being aware of what's going on upstairs, in that head of yours, and not just letting your thoughts run amok. First off, let's talk about why your thoughts are such a big deal. Everything you do starts with a thought. Your actions, your mood, your whole vibe, they're all influenced by what's going on in your mind. If your thoughts are a mess, guess what? Your life feels messy, too. Marcus understood that by being mindful of your thoughts, you can steer your life in a better direction. It's like having a mental GPS that keeps you on the right path. But how do you become mindful of your thoughts? It's not like you can just flip a switch, right? Start by paying attention to what pops into your head. Notice the chatter, the self-talk, the mental noise. Don't judge it, just observe. Marcus would suggest treating your thoughts like clouds passing by. You see them, you acknowledge them, but you don't have to hold on to them. They come and go, and that's okay. Here's another cool trick, question your thoughts. Not in a harsh, critical way, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, why am I thinking this, or is this thought helping me? Marcus was big on examining his thoughts, almost like a detective. By doing this, you start to see patterns. Maybe you notice certain thoughts that always bring you down or ones that motivate you. It's about getting to know your mental landscape. And let's not forget about negative thoughts. We all have them. They sneak in and try to bring us down. Marcus had his fair share of these, but he knew that you don't have to believe every thought that crosses your mind. Being mindful means recognizing negative thoughts without letting them control you. It's about taking a step back, seeing the thought for what it is, and choosing not to let it dominate your day. Now, let's talk about the flip side, positive thoughts. Being mindful isn't just about catching the negative stuff, it's also about fostering positive, empowering thoughts. Marcus would encourage you to fill your mind with thoughts that uplift you, that inspire you to be better. It's like planting flowers in that mental jungle. The more you nurture them, the more your mind becomes a beautiful, vibrant place. Being mindful of your thoughts also means being present. When you're aware of your thoughts, you're anchored in the now. You're not lost in past regrets or future worries. You're here, fully experiencing life as it unfolds. Marcus believed that this kind of mindfulness leads to a more peaceful, centered existence. It's about finding balance and clarity in the midst of life's chaos. So, here's the takeaway: your thoughts shape your reality. By being mindful of them, you take back control. You become the master of your mind, not its slave. It's not about achieving some perfect state of mind, but about being aware, being present, and making conscious choices. Marcus Aurelius knew the power of mindful thinking, and now you do, too. Next time your thoughts start to spiral, remember Marcus's wisdom. Pause, observe, and steer them in a direction that serves you. It's a practice, and it takes time, but the more you do it, the more you'll see the benefits. Your mind is a powerful tool, use it wisely, and it can change your life completely. Number 5, act with justice. First off, what does it mean to act with justice? Well, for Marcus, it wasn't just about following laws or rules. It was about living with integrity, fairness, and a deep sense of moral responsibility. He believed that justice is the foundation of a good life, and that means treating others with respect, kindness, and fairness. It's about being honest, standing up for what's right, and not letting your own desires or fears lead you astray. But here's the kicker: acting with justice isn't always easy. Sometimes, it means making tough choices. It might mean speaking up when you see something wrong, even if it puts you in an awkward spot. Or it could mean admitting when you're wrong and making amends. Marcus knew that acting justly often requires courage and strength. It's about staying true to your values, no matter the cost. So, how do we bring this Stoic principle into our everyday lives? One way is by being mindful of our actions and their impact on others. Before you make a decision, ask yourself, is this fair? Am I treating others the way I'd want to be treated? Marcus would remind us that justice isn't just about grand gestures, it's also in the small, everyday actions. It's in how we treat people, how we speak to them, and how we handle conflicts. And let's not forget about self-justice. Yep, that's a thing too. Acting with justice also means being fair and kind to yourself. It's about not beating yourself up over mistakes, learning from them instead. Marcus believed in the importance of self-reflection and growth. By being just with ourselves, we create a foundation to be just with others. Another key aspect of justice, according to Marcus, is empathy. It's about understanding and considering the perspectives and feelings of others. When you can see things from someone else's point of view, you're more likely to act fairly and with compassion. It's about bridging gaps, finding common ground, and fostering a sense of community and understanding. But let's be real, acting with justice can be challenging. There are times when it's easier to take the shortcut, to look the other way, or to prioritize our own interests. Marcus knew this too. He understood that we're all human, prone to mistakes and selfish tendencies. But he also believed that striving for justice, even when it's hard, is what makes us truly human. It's what connects us, binds us, and lifts us up. And here's the beautiful part: when you act with justice, it not only benefits others but also enriches your own life. You build trust, respect, and a sense of fulfillment. You create a ripple effect, inspiring others to act justly too. Marcus saw justice as a cornerstone of a harmonious and thriving society. It's like planting seeds of goodness that grow into a forest of positive change. So, next time you face a decision, big or small, channel your inner Marcus Aurelius. Ask yourself what the just action is. Take a moment to reflect, to consider the impact of your choices. Remember that justice is about balance, fairness, and integrity. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. In essence, acting with justice is a lifelong practice. It's not about perfection but about striving to be better, to do better. It's about aligning your actions with your values, staying true to your principles, and making a positive impact on the world around you. And who knows? This commitment to justice might just change your life, and the lives of those around you, completely. Number 6. Accept mortality. Let's get real about one of Marcus Aurelius' most profound principles, accepting mortality. This topic might seem a bit heavy at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. Marcus had some deep thoughts on this, and his insights can truly shift how we live our lives. Let's dive in, keeping it casual and relatable. So, here's the thing, we're all going to die. Yep, I said it. Mortality is the one thing we all have in common, yet it's the thing we least like to think about. Marcus Aurelius was all about facing this head-on. He believed that by accepting our mortality, we could live more fully, more authentically. Imagine knowing you only have a limited amount of time. Doesn't that make every moment feel a bit more precious? Marcus thought so. He taught that by acknowledging our finite existence, we could strip away the trivial worries and focus on what truly matters. It's like having a deadline that sharpens your focus and makes you prioritize what's really important. Now, accepting mortality isn't about being morbid or gloomy. Quite the opposite. It's about gaining clarity and perspective. When you accept that life is short, you start to appreciate the little things. A sunset, a good conversation, the smell of rain, these moments become more vibrant, more meaningful. Marcus would say that embracing our mortality helps us savor life's fleeting beauty. But there's more. Accepting mortality also means letting go of the fear of death. We spend so much energy avoiding the thought of our end, but Marcus believed this fear holds us back. By facing it, we free ourselves from its grip. It's about making peace with the inevitable and, in doing so, living with less anxiety and more courage. Imagine not being afraid of what's to come. That's liberating, right? And here's another kicker, accepting mortality puts things into perspective. The petty dramas, the grudges, the endless striving for more, they start to seem insignificant. Marcus would remind us that in the grand scheme of things, these worries are just dust in the wind. What really matters is how we live, how we love, and the impact we leave behind. It's about focusing on our legacy, not in a grandiose way, but in the sense of how we touch the lives of those around us. Marcus also saw accepting mortality as a call to action. Knowing that our time is limited, we're prompted to act with urgency and purpose. Procrastination loses its appeal because we realize that every moment counts. It's about making the most of the time we have, not in a frantic, rushed way, but with intention and mindfulness. It's about being present and engaged, rather than drifting through life on autopilot. And let's not forget about gratitude. When you accept that life is short, you start to appreciate it more. You become grateful for each day, each breath, each experience. Marcus believed that this gratitude was key to a fulfilling life. It's about seeing each moment as a gift, even the tough ones, because they all contribute to the tapestry of our existence. In essence, accepting mortality isn't about dwelling on death, it's about enhancing life. It's about living with a sense of urgency, purpose, and appreciation. Marcus Aurelius knew that by facing our mortality, we could strip away the superficial and focus on what truly matters. It's about living deeply, fully, and authentically. So, reflect on your mortality, not to fear it, but to embrace the richness of life. Let it inspire you to live with intention, to cherish the moments, and to act with purpose. After all, life is short, and it's the acceptance of this fact that can transform how we live. Embrace it, and you might find that this simple shift in perspective changes your life completely. Number 7. Seek inner peace. Marcus Aurelius believed that inner peace comes from within. It's not about what's happening in the world outside, it's about how you handle it on the inside. Think of it as a calm center within a storm. The world might be spinning, chaos everywhere, but inside, you're steady, grounded, unshaken. But how do we find this inner peace Marcus talks about? Well, it starts with our thoughts. Marcus was a big fan of checking in with your mind. What are you thinking about? Are your thoughts helping you, or are they dragging you down? He believed that we have the power to shape our inner world by choosing our thoughts carefully. It's about cultivating a mindset that fosters peace rather than turmoil. One way to do this is through mindfulness. You've probably heard this word tossed around a lot, but it's about being present in the moment. Not getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future, but focusing on the here and now. When you're truly present, you start to see things more clearly. You notice the beauty in small moments, the quiet joys, and this clarity brings a sense of peace. Another piece of the puzzle is acceptance. Marcus was big on accepting things as they are. It's not about being passive or giving up, but about recognizing what's within your control and what's not. Fighting against things you can't change only creates inner conflict. Accepting them, on the other hand, allows you to let go of unnecessary stress. It's about saying, "This is how it is, and that's okay." From this place of acceptance, you can find peace. Marcus also believed in living according to your values. When your actions align with your beliefs, there's a harmony that brings inner calm. It's about integrity, doing what you know is right, and not compromising your principles. When you live authentically, you remove a lot of inner friction. You feel good about yourself, and this self-respect translates into peace. Now, let's talk about dealing with external chaos. Life is unpredictable, full of ups and downs. Marcus knew this well. His solution? Focus on your response rather than the situation itself. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you react. By choosing to respond with calm and composure, you maintain your inner peace. It's like being the eye of the storm, still and serene, while everything else swirls around you. Practicing gratitude is another key. Marcus often reflected on the good in his life, no matter how small. This habit shifts your focus from what's lacking to what you have, and this shift can bring immense peace. It's about appreciating the present moment and finding joy in the simple things. Lastly, remember that seeking inner peace is a journey, not a destination. It's something you work on daily, bit by bit. Marcus himself was constantly striving to maintain his inner peace. It's about progress, not perfection. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep going, to keep cultivating that calm within you. So, take a deep breath. Start paying attention to your thoughts, practice mindfulness, accept what you can't change, live true to your values, respond with calm, and practice gratitude. Channel your inner Marcus Aurelius and seek that inner peace. It might just transform your life, making it richer, calmer, and more fulfilling. Embrace the journey, and watch how your inner world begins to shift. Number 8. Serve the greater good. First things first, what does serving the greater good actually mean? It's about looking beyond your own needs and desires. It's about considering how your actions impact others and striving to make positive contributions to your community, society, and even the world. Marcus Aurelius was all about this. He saw himself not just as an individual, but as a part of a larger whole. And this perspective can totally shift how you approach life. Imagine you're part of a giant puzzle. Each piece is unique and important, but the real beauty comes when all the pieces come together to form a complete picture. Serving the greater good is like recognizing your role in this puzzle. It's about understanding that your actions ripple out, affecting others in ways you might not even see. Marcus would say that when you act with the greater good in mind, you're contributing to the harmony and well-being of the whole. But how do we do this in our day-to-day lives? It starts with small actions. Think about how you can make someone's day a bit better. Maybe it's a kind word, a helping hand, or simply listening when someone needs to talk. These small gestures can have a big impact. Marcus believed that every act of kindness, no matter how small, contributes to the greater good. Another way to serve the greater good is by using your talents and skills to benefit others. We all have something unique to offer. Whether it's your creativity, your problem-solving skills, or your ability to connect with people, these are tools you can use to make a positive difference. Marcus would encourage you to think about how you can use your strengths to help those around you. It's not about grand gestures, but about consistently showing up and doing your part. Now, let's talk about the mindset shift that comes with this principle. When you start focusing on the greater good, you move away from a self-centered perspective. It's not just about what you can get, but about what you can give. This shift can be incredibly freeing. It brings a sense of purpose and fulfillment that's hard to find when you're solely focused on yourself. Marcus knew that a life dedicated to service is a life well lived. Serving the greater good also means standing up for what's right. It's about having the courage to speak out against injustice and to support causes that promote fairness and equality. Marcus Aurelius faced many challenges in his life, but he always strived to act with integrity and justice. He believed that we all have a responsibility to contribute to a just and fair society. But here's the thing, serving the greater good isn't always easy. It often requires sacrifices and stepping out of your comfort zone. There will be times when it's tempting to take the easy road or to put your own needs first. Marcus would remind us that true greatness comes from overcoming these challenges and staying committed to the greater good. And let's not forget the impact this has on our relationships. When you focus on serving others, you build stronger connections. People appreciate genuine kindness and support. You become someone others can rely on, and this fosters trust and mutual respect. Marcus believed that these relationships are a crucial part of a fulfilling life. So, let's take a page from Marcus Aurelius' book. Start looking for ways, big or small, to serve the greater good. Think about how your actions can benefit others and contribute to the well-being of your community. It's not about being a hero, it's about being a good person. And who knows? This shift in focus might just change your life completely, bringing you a deeper sense of purpose and connection. Serve the greater good, and watch as your life transforms in meaningful ways. Number 9. Embrace simplicity. What does it mean to embrace simplicity? It's not just about having fewer things or living like a minimalist monk. It's about clearing the mental and emotional clutter that bogs us down. Marcus was all about cutting through the fluff to get to the essence of things. It's about living intentionally, making conscious choices about what you let into your life, and letting go of the rest. Think about your daily life. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, constantly chasing after the next big thing, overwhelmed by a never-ending to-do list. Embracing simplicity means taking a step back and asking yourself, what's really important? What do I truly need to be happy and fulfilled? Marcus would tell you that most of the stuff we stress about is just noise. It's the simple things that bring true contentment. So, how do we start embracing simplicity? One way is by decluttering your mind. This means letting go of unnecessary worries and distractions. Marcus often reminded himself to focus on the present moment and to not get lost in the what-ifs of the future or the regrets of the past. When you simplify your thoughts, you create space for clarity and peace. It's about being mindful, staying present, and not overcomplicating things. Another aspect of simplicity is living with intention. This means being deliberate about how you spend your time and energy. Marcus believed in focusing on what you can control and not wasting energy on things you can't. It's about prioritizing your values and aligning your actions with them. When you live with intention, you cut out the noise and focus on what truly matters. Let's talk about material simplicity, too. Marcus wasn't against having things, but he was wary of being attached to them. He believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external possessions. It's about appreciating what you have and not constantly craving more. When you simplify your material life, you free yourself from the endless cycle of wanting and acquiring. It's about finding joy in the simple pleasures and being content with enough. And let's not forget about simplifying your relationships. Marcus valued genuine connections over superficial ones. It's about surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and letting go of toxic relationships that drain your energy. Quality over quantity. When you simplify your social life, you create deeper, more meaningful connections. Embracing simplicity also means simplifying your routines. Think about your daily habits. Are there ways to streamline your tasks and make your day more efficient? Marcus believed in the power of routine and discipline. When you simplify your routines, you reduce stress and create more space for the things you love. But here's the kicker: simplicity isn't about deprivation. It's about enrichment. By letting go of the excess, you make room for what truly enriches your life. It's about finding balance and harmony. Marcus saw simplicity as a path to a richer, more fulfilling life. It's not about doing less, it's about doing more of what matters. So, start simplifying your life, one step at a time. Clear the clutter from your mind, live with intention, appreciate what you have, nurture genuine relationships, and streamline your routines. Embrace simplicity and watch how it transforms your life. It might just be the key to finding peace, clarity, and true contentment. And who knows? This simple shift in mindset might change your life completely, bringing you closer to the essence of what truly matters. Number 10. Accept imperfection. Embracing the messiness of life, our flaws, and the unpredictability of it all, it's liberating. So, let's break this down in a way that's laid back, relatable, and maybe even a little fun. First off, let's face it, nobody's perfect. We all mess up, make mistakes, and have our quirks. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, knew this well. He believed that accepting imperfection is crucial for a peaceful life. Think about it. How much stress comes from trying to be perfect? The endless striving, the fear of failure, the constant pressure. It's exhausting. Marcus would tell you to chill out and embrace your humanity. Accepting imperfection starts with yourself. We're often our own worst critics. That little voice in your head that points out every flaw, every mistake, it can be brutal. Marcus would suggest turning down the volume on that inner critic. Instead of beating yourself up, acknowledge your imperfections with kindness. It's about saying, yeah, I messed up, but it's okay. I'm human. This shift in mindset can be incredibly freeing. When you accept your own imperfections, something magical happens. You start to accept others' imperfections too. We're all in this together, right? Everyone has their own struggles, their own flaws. Marcus believed in showing compassion towards others, understanding that we're all imperfect beings doing our best. This attitude fosters better relationships, more empathy, and less judgment. Now, let's talk about the beauty of imperfection. Marcus saw imperfections not as flaws but as part of life's rich tapestry. Imagine a world where everything was perfect, How boring would that be? It's the quirks, the unexpected moments, the imperfections that add color and depth to our experiences. Embracing imperfection means finding beauty in the messy, the unpredictable, the real. It's about appreciating life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Perfectionism often leads to procrastination. You know that feeling when you're afraid to start something because it might not be perfect? Marcus would say, just start. Do your best, but don't let the fear of imperfection hold you back. Progress over perfection, every time. It's about taking action, learning from mistakes, and growing along the way. Perfection is an illusion, progress is real. Accepting imperfection also means letting go of control. Life is unpredictable. Things don't always go as planned. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. He faced countless challenges and setbacks. His secret? He focused on what he could control, his thoughts, his actions, his responses. The rest? He let it be. This mindset reduces stress and anxiety. It's about flowing with life's currents rather than swimming against them. And here's the thing, imperfection is where growth happens. When you're okay with not being perfect, you open yourself up to learning and improvement. Mistakes become lessons, not failures. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Marcus would tell you that embracing imperfection is the path to wisdom and resilience. So, how do you start accepting imperfection? Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. Focus on progress, not perfection. Appreciate the beauty in the imperfect. And most importantly, let go of the need to control everything. Life is a journey, not a destination. It's about the ups, the downs, the twists, and turns. Embrace your imperfections, accept the imperfections of others, and find peace in the unpredictability of life. This shift in perspective might just change your life completely. It's about living more authentically, more compassionately, and more freely. Embrace the mess, the flaws, the beautiful imperfection of it all. And watch how your world transforms. Number 11, focus on your own path. So, what does it mean to focus on your own path? Picture this, life is a journey, and you've got your own unique road to travel. Marcus Aurelius believed that each of us has a distinct path, shaped by our values, goals, and experiences. It's all about recognizing that your journey is yours alone, and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with other people's highlight reels, it's easy to get sidetracked. But Marcus would tell you to keep your eyes on your own road. One big part of this is avoiding the comparison trap. We've all been there, scrolling through social media, seeing other people's achievements, and feeling like we're not measuring up. But here's the thing, comparison is the thief of joy. Marcus understood that constantly comparing yourself to others only leads to dissatisfaction and envy. Instead, he encouraged focusing on your own progress and growth. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and don't worry about where others are on their journey. Your path is yours to walk, and that's something special. Another aspect is staying true to your values. It's easy to get swayed by what others think you should be doing. Friends, family, society, they all have opinions. But Marcus would remind you that your values are your compass. They guide you in making decisions that align with who you truly are. When you focus on your own path, you're not living someone else's expectations, you're living your truth. This brings a sense of authenticity and fulfillment that's hard to find otherwise. Now, focusing on your path also means embracing your unique journey, with all its ups and downs. Life isn't a straight line, it's full of twists, turns, and detours. Marcus knew that these challenges and setbacks are part of the process. They shape who you are and build resilience. It's about seeing the bigger picture, understanding that your path will have its own rhythm and pace. Trusting the process, even when it's tough, is key. You're exactly where you need to be, learning and growing with every step. But how do you actually focus on your own path amidst all the noise? Start by setting clear goals based on your values and aspirations. Write them down, make them concrete. This gives you a roadmap to follow. Then, practice mindfulness to stay present. When you're fully engaged in the moment, you're less likely to get distracted by external comparisons. Reflect regularly on your progress and be kind to yourself. It's a journey, not a race. Another tip from Marcus: simplify your life. Cut out the distractions that pull you away from your goals. Whether it's excessive social media, toxic relationships, or unimportant tasks, streamline your life to focus on what truly matters. This doesn't mean isolating yourself, but rather being intentional about where you invest your time and energy. And let's not forget the importance of resilience. Focusing on your path means staying committed even when things get tough. Marcus faced numerous challenges in his life, but he remained steadfast. He understood that persistence is crucial. When you hit obstacles, remember why you started. Keep pushing forward, and don't be afraid to adjust your course if needed. Flexibility and determination go hand in hand. So, there you have it. Channel your inner Marcus Aurelius and focus on your own path. Avoid the comparison trap, stay true to your values, embrace your unique journey, and practice mindfulness and resilience. This approach can transform how you live your life, bringing clarity, purpose, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Your path is yours alone, and there's incredible power in walking it with confidence and authenticity. Number 12, practice non-attachment. So, what does practicing non-attachment really mean? Think of it as loosening your grip on everything. We often hold on so tightly to our desires, our possessions, our relationships, and our ideas of how things should be. Marcus Aurelius, the wise old Stoic, believed that this tight grip leads to suffering. Why? Because life is unpredictable. Things change. People change. Circumstances change. When you're attached to specific outcomes or possessions, you set yourself up for disappointment and frustration when things inevitably shift. Non-attachment is about accepting this constant flux and finding peace within it. It doesn't mean you stop caring or become indifferent. Far from it. It's about engaging with life fully, but without the constant fear of losing what you have or not getting what you want. Marcus would say it's about finding a balance, caring deeply, but not being crushed when things don't go your way. One way to start practicing non-attachment is by recognizing the impermanent nature of everything. Look around you. Everything is in a state of change. Seasons change, people grow, technology evolves. Marcus often reflected on the temporary nature of life. By acknowledging that nothing lasts forever, you begin to appreciate the present moment more. You savor what you have without clinging to it desperately. It's about enjoying the ride, knowing that it's fleeting. Another aspect is letting go of rigid expectations. We all have a vision of how our life should be. These expectations can be a source of stress and disappointment when reality doesn't match up. Marcus believed in accepting things as they are. It's about doing your best and then letting go of the need for a specific result. This doesn't mean you stop striving for your goals. It means you give your all, but remain flexible and open to whatever comes. You trust that things will unfold as they're meant to. Practicing non-attachment also involves detaching from material possessions. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, understood that true happiness doesn't come from stuff. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of acquiring and wanting more. But Marcus would remind us that real contentment comes from within. It's about valuing experiences, relationships, and personal growth over material things. When you're not tied down by your possessions, you find a sense of freedom and lightness. And let's not forget about relationships. Non-attachment doesn't mean you don't care about the people in your life. It's about loving and appreciating them without trying to control them or being overly dependent on them for your happiness. Marcus believed in loving deeply but also understanding that people are independent beings. It's about giving space, respecting individuality, and not clinging out of fear of loss. This approach fosters healthier, more fulfilling relationships. So, how do you actually put this into practice? Start small. Notice where you're holding on too tightly. It could be an expectation, a possession, or a relationship. Then, consciously loosen your grip. Practice mindfulness to stay present and appreciate the now. Reflect on the impermanent nature of life and let this understanding guide you in letting go of attachments. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom on non-attachment can truly transform your life. It's about finding peace in the ebb and flow of existence. Embrace change, release the need for control, and discover the freedom that comes with non-attachment. It's a journey, and like all good journeys, it starts with a single step. Practice non-attachment, and you might just find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment that you never thought possible. Number 13. Be wary of flattery. Alright, let's talk about one of Marcus Aurelius' key principles, being wary of flattery. This might seem like a no-brainer, but flattery can be a sneaky little thing that messes with your head if you're not careful. Marcus knew the game and understood the importance of keeping your feet on the ground, no matter how much praise gets thrown your way. Let's break it down in a way that's casual, relatable, and a bit of fun. So, what's the big deal with flattery? On the surface, it feels pretty good, right? Someone tells you you're amazing, you've done a great job, or that you're the best at what you do. It's a nice ego boost. But Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, would give you a little side-eye and say, "Hold up, don't get carried away." Flattery can inflate your ego, leading you away from humility and self-awareness. And those are the things you need to stay grounded and true to yourself. Marcus believed that flattery can be a trap. It's easy to start craving those sweet words, to let them shape how you see yourself. But here's the kicker: when you rely on external praise for validation, you give away your power. You let others control your sense of worth. Marcus would remind us that true confidence and self-worth come from within, not from the compliments of others. So, how do you keep your cool when flattery comes your way? First, take a moment to step back and evaluate. Ask yourself, is this genuine praise or just flattery? Genuine praise is specific and constructive. It acknowledges your efforts and achievements without blowing things out of proportion. Flattery, on the other hand, is often vague and exaggerated, aimed at winning favor rather than offering honest feedback. When someone lays on the flattery thick, it's essential to stay humble. Marcus Aurelius was big on humility. He believed that no matter how much you achieve, there's always room for improvement. By staying humble, you keep a balanced perspective on your accomplishments. You recognize your strengths, but you also acknowledge your flaws and areas for growth. Another tip from Marcus: reflect on your actions and motivations. Are you doing things for the sake of praise, or because they align with your values and goals? When you're clear on your intentions, you're less likely to be swayed by flattery. It's about staying true to yourself and your principles, no matter what others say. Flattery can also distort your judgment. When you start believing all the hype, you might make decisions based on what will get you more praise, rather than what's right or best. Marcus Aurelius would urge you to keep your focus on what truly matters, acting with integrity, wisdom, and kindness. Make choices based on your values, not on the applause you might receive. Let's not forget the flip side: how you deal with flattery directed at others. Marcus would advise you to be cautious about giving excessive praise. Flattery can create unrealistic expectations and put undue pressure on people. Instead, offer genuine, thoughtful compliments that acknowledge effort and encourage growth. In essence, being wary of flattery is about maintaining your balance and staying grounded. It's about valuing yourself from within and not letting external praise dictate your self-worth. Marcus Aurelius knew that flattery is fleeting, but true confidence and humility are lasting. So, take the compliments with a grain of salt, stay humble, and keep focusing on what really matters. By embracing this principle, you build a solid foundation of self-worth that's unshakable. You stay true to yourself, make decisions based on your values, and maintain a balanced perspective. And who knows? This mindset might just change your life completely, bringing you a deeper sense of peace and authenticity. Number 14. Reflect on the smallness of life. What does it mean to reflect on the smallness of life? Imagine zooming out from your daily grind and seeing the bigger picture. Marcus Aurelius was a master at this. He often reminded himself that we're just a tiny part of a vast, infinite universe. Our lives, with all their highs and lows, are just fleeting moments in the grand timeline of existence. This might sound a bit daunting, but it's actually a huge relief. When you realize how small your problems are in the grand scheme of things, they start to lose their grip on you. Think about it. We often get so wrapped up in our own little world, our jobs, our relationships, our to-do lists. It's easy to feel like everything is a big deal. But Marcus would nudge us and say, hey, take a step back. When you zoom out, you see that many of the things we stress about are really just blips on the radar. This perspective helps you to not sweat the small stuff and to focus on what truly matters. Reflecting on the smallness of life is also about embracing humility. Marcus knew that we're all just tiny specks in the universe, no matter how important we might feel. This isn't meant to bring you down, but to ground you. It's a reminder that we're all part of something much bigger. It's about finding your place in the world and recognizing that while you're important, you're also part of a greater whole. This can be incredibly freeing. It takes the pressure off and allows you to just be yourself without the need to prove anything. Now, let's get a bit philosophical. Marcus often meditated on the idea that life is fleeting. We're here for a moment, and then we're gone. This might sound a bit morbid, but it's actually a call to live more fully. When you recognize that your time is limited, you start to appreciate each moment more. You cherish the simple joys and stop taking things for granted. It's about living with a sense of urgency, not in a rushed way, but with a deep appreciation for the present. And here's the thing, reflecting on the smallness of life can actually make you more compassionate. When you realize that everyone else is also just trying to navigate their tiny corner of the universe, you become more understanding and empathetic. You see that everyone has their own struggles and that, in the end, we're all in this together. This perspective fosters a sense of connection and solidarity with others. So, how do you practice this principle? Start by taking time to reflect. Find moments in your day to pause and zoom out. Look up at the stars, feel the vastness of the sky, or simply take a deep breath and remember that you're part of something much bigger. Meditate on the transient nature of life and let this understanding bring you peace. Another tip from Marcus: don't get too caught up in the pursuit of fame, wealth, or status. These things might seem important, but in the grand scheme of things, they're just fleeting. Focus instead on what brings you true joy and fulfillment. Build meaningful relationships, pursue your passions, and contribute to the greater good. In essence, reflecting on the smallness of life is about gaining perspective. It's about seeing the bigger picture and finding peace in the understanding that we're all just tiny parts of a vast, beautiful universe. Embrace this principle, and you'll find a sense of humility, compassion, and deep appreciation for the present moment. And who knows? This shift in perspective might just change your life completely. Number 15. Remember the impermanence of fame. Alright, let's dig into another gem from Marcus Aurelius, remembering the impermanence of fame. This Stoic principle can really shift your mindset and help you focus on what truly matters. Fame, with all its allure, can be a bit of a mirage. It seems substantial but fades away quicker than you might think. Let's unpack this idea in a way that's easygoing and real. First off, why did Marcus Aurelius care so much about the fleeting nature of fame? Well, for starters, he was an emperor. He had all the power and recognition you could imagine. But even with all that, he knew it wouldn't last forever. Fame is like a passing breeze. It feels great for a moment, but then it's gone. Marcus would remind us that seeking fame is like chasing shadows. You might catch a glimpse of it, but it slips away just as quickly. So, why is fame so appealing? It's tied to our desire for validation and recognition. We want to be seen, heard, and appreciated. But here's the thing, when you tie your self-worth to external validation, you're setting yourself up for a roller coaster ride. One minute you're up, the next you're down. Marcus knew this well. He believed that true fulfillment comes from within, not from the fleeting applause of others. Think about it. Fame is fickle. One day, people love you, the next, they've moved on to the next big thing. Marcus Aurelius would tell you to be wary of this. He'd say, focus on what you can control, your actions, your character, your integrity. Fame doesn't define you. It's a byproduct of what you do, not the essence of who you are. When you remember this, you free yourself from the constant need for approval and recognition. Now, let's get a bit philosophical. Marcus often reflected on how quickly time passes and how soon we're forgotten. Think of all the famous people from history. How many do you actually remember? Even the most celebrated figures eventually fade into obscurity. This isn't meant to depress you, but to remind you to focus on what's truly important. Marcus would encourage you to live a life of purpose and meaning, rather than chasing the temporary spotlight. So, how do you apply this principle in your life? Start by shifting your focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What kind of person do I want to be? When you're clear on your values and goals, you're less swayed by the pursuit of fame. You find joy and satisfaction in the journey, not just the destination. Another tip, practice humility. Marcus Aurelius was all about staying grounded, no matter how high you rise. Recognize that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and that fame doesn't make you better or worse than anyone else. It's just a fleeting experience, not a measure of your worth. And let's not forget about the impact of fame on relationships. Marcus knew that fame can create distance between people. It can make it harder to form genuine connections. When you're focused on impressing others, you might miss out on the deeper, more meaningful interactions. Remembering the impermanence of fame helps you prioritize real relationships over superficial ones. So, take a page from Marcus Aurelius' book. Reflect on the fleeting nature of fame and let it guide you towards a more grounded, fulfilling life. Focus on what you can control, find joy in the process, and build meaningful connections. Fame may come and go, but a life well lived leaves a lasting legacy. In essence, remembering the impermanence of fame is about gaining perspective. It's about seeing through the illusion of fame and recognizing what truly matters. Embrace this principle, and you'll find a deeper sense of peace and purpose. You'll focus on what's real and lasting, rather than getting caught up in the fleeting chase for recognition. And who knows? This shift in mindset might just change your life completely. Alright, let's wrap this up. I hope you found these Marcus Aurelius Stoic principles as enlightening and powerful as I do. Remember, these aren't just ancient ideas, they're practical tools you can use to navigate the complexities of modern life. From embracing simplicity and focusing on your own path to practicing non-attachment and remembering the impermanence of fame, these principles can truly transform how you live. It's all about gaining perspective, finding inner peace, and living a life of purpose and integrity. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with friends and family who might benefit from a bit of Stoic wisdom, too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know which principle resonated with you the most or how you plan to incorporate these ideas into your daily life. Your insights and experiences are what make this community so special. Thanks for watching, and remember, you have the power to change your life completely by applying these timeless Stoic principles. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself. Until next time, take care and keep living the Stoic way.